So you've got a cruise stop in Auckland, New Zealand, and you're trying to figure out what to do. Well, let me give you 2 big reasons why I think you should go to Weta Workshop Unleashed. I'm Luke from Cruising Secrets, so let's get started. If you like movie production, things like props and costumes, then going to Weta Workshop Unleashed really gives you an inside look into one of the biggest production houses. You don't need to book a cruise line excursion if you're going to Auckland. You can do this all independently, and I'll kind of walk you through it. There's links below in the description to help you out. Weta Workshop has a website where you can book all their tours. You can actually go ahead of time and see what kind of tours and workshops will be available on the day that you're in port. You'll have a lot more options if you go direct than if you go through your cruise line, which will probably just be the general tour. And you may get some options on the times. The prices will also be better because you'll be going direct and there won't be that cruise line markup. Now, to actually book the tour, I would wait if you can until you're actually docked in Auckland, because you never know what might happen with the weather and you might have to skip the cruise port. And I don't know exactly how good the refund policy is from Weta Workshop Unleashed. So the first big reason to visit is it's free, at least a little bit. Even if everything is sold out and there's no way to go on a tour, you can go to the Weta Workshop Unleashed area, they call it the Weta Cave, and see several things without having to pay for a tour at all. Of course, that's not going to be as good as the 90-minute tour, but it's something, and it's right next to the Sky Tower, so you may be going there anyway, or you may know someone who's going there. So if you're looking for something free to do that's nearby the Sky Tower, the Weta Cave is a great option. You can see some costumes and props and pose with some of the big figures. You can take some pictures, and they have a lot of official merchandise that you can really only get at one of these Weta Workshop locations. I think you could easily spend 30 minutes at the Weta Cave just looking around. You'll have to check the map when you get off the cruise ship, but basically it's walking uphill through Auckland. It takes about 20, maybe 30 minutes, and there are lots of shops along the way, lots of little interesting stores to stop into, souvenir shops, but also just local stores that have food and snacks and other kind of local delicacies. The Weta Cave doesn't open until 9:45 a.m., so if you get off the cruise ship and start walking around, you can kind of end up there at around 10 o'clock. And if you look online at what's available that morning, you can see what time slots are available and really plan out your day a little bit better. Reason number 2 that I recommend Weta Workshop Unleashed is that it's very interactive. If you just want to watch someone talk about behind the scenes stuff on Lord of the Rings or Chappie or other movies, this isn't the tour for you. This is really seeing more about the movie making process, from the prop and costume perspective at least, and seeing how those stories are brought to life. Plus, you actually get to touch a lot of the stuff, and so you really get to feel what it's like, literally. The tour moves pretty fast, but you do get a little hands-on time with some of the exhibits. There's some sculpting areas and some sketching areas and a lot of just interactive areas that you can touch and pull levers and push buttons and really see how things work. One thing you can help me out with is if you go on this tour, ask them how to watch the little films that they talk about making all during the tour. I couldn't find a way to actually watch those films. I think they may be completely conceptual and never have been published, even though it sounds like they filmed a lot of things for them. So ask about that footage and where you can see it. Before or after the tour, you could spend time in the Weta Cave, looking at the other displays, looking at the souvenirs. It's really interesting, and then you've got plenty of time to walk back to the cruise ship. The tour is about 90 minutes, and it's under the guise of being an intern at Weta Workshop, which is kind of fun. I know I show a lot of stuff on this video. There's a lot more that you don't see in these little clips I've got. There's a lot of other stuff to do in Auckland, so if you just want to spend some time walking around and going to Weta Workshop Unleashed, I think that's a great way to spend your cruise day. This is easily a cruise experience that you can book on your own. You do not need to do this through the cruise line. Just give yourself half an hour or so to walk back to the port. It's pretty easy because the walk back is mostly downhill. And if you want to stop into any souvenir shops, there's some right on the path. Or if you're doing some other cruise line excursion, maybe you can sneak in a trip over to the Weta Cave afterwards. What are some things you love to do when you stop in Auckland for your cruise stop? Leave a comment down below and share your secrets. This has been Luke from Cruising Secrets. We'll secret you later.